let's move into the last leg of our mock draft 2.0. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for joining us for part 3. We're talking about 21 through 30. If you're still listening on Blog Talk Radio, you have digested, I think, over an hour, and it's probably going to be close to 2 hours.
It's going to be long.
It's going to be close to 2 hours on Blog Talk Radio, so you guys are a trooper out there. And Ricky, thank you for editing as well, because this is going to be up on YouTube. Thanks to you, so shout out to you. But Ricky, let's go to you, and give us your 21 through 30.
Well, starting off at number 21, the Milwaukee Bucks going with Daniel Gafford, the center from Arkansas. Then 22, the Pacers going with Kyrie Thomas, the guard from Creighton. 23, the Wizards going with Mitchell Robinson, the high school center. The Hawks via the T-Wolves going with Anthony Simmons, another high school player, this time a guard. The Spurs going with Shake Milton, the guard out of SMU.
Please never
the
again.
The Lakers via the Cavs going with Landry Shamet, the guard from Wichita State. Celtics at 27 going Brandon McCoy, the forward center from UNLV. The Nets via the Raptors going with Raleigh.
You literally tried this 7 times
Raleigh
before
Elkins.
the podcast.
Raleigh
How do
Elkins.
you get it so messed up in your mind?
And then it just comes out. The guard forward from Arizona is what I was
he said it perfect before the podcast.
I corrected you before we started, and I still screwed it up. Then the Warriors at 29 going Trayvon Duval, the guard from Duke. And then Mr. Irrelevant for the first round, the Hawks via the Rockets going with Jacob Evans, the forward from Cincinnati.
Don't try to make things that aren't a thing.
Well, he's last pick of our mock, so he's Mr. Irrelevant.
He's not Mr. Irrelevant.
There's only one Mr. Irrelevant. There's only one, and he is pick 60.
Yes.
Sorry,
Dave,
deal with it.
Go with your 21 through 30, and please don't say shake.
I would never do that, and that's okay.
He's already gone anyways.
Yeah, I'll say. So I've got the Bucks at 21 going with Daniel Gafford from Arkansas. At number 22, I've got the Pacers taking Chandler Hutchison from Boise. At 23, I've got the Wizards going with Josh Okogie from Georgia Tech. I do love that boy. 24, I've got the Hawks going Anthony Simmons because it's all about that youth. 25, I've got the Spurs going Landry Shamet, the one and only. 26, I've got the Lakers going with Mitchell Robinson because they need a center badly. 27, I've got the Celtics going with Bruce Brown. 28, I've got the Nets going with Hamadou. 29, whatever. They got time. And the Warriors at 29 go with Shemezi Matu. And number 30, one of my favorite picks, I've got the Hawks stashing for Isaac Bonga.
One thing this draft is great for, even if the players suck, even though I don't think they will, this might be one of the best drafts of all time. The names are phenomenal. Amazing. Bonga, Hamadou, Anthony Simmons, Okogie, Shemezi Matu, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, like these are some
Mohamed Bamba,
Zanin Musa, like these are some killer names. And Luka Doncic. It's also some good names out here. But anyways, my 21 through 30, we have the Bucks taking Mitchell Robinson, the player who went away from Western Kentucky, taking a break, taking a siesta from basketball this year, working outside of a team. And we got 22, the Pacers going with Lonnie Walker from Miami. Then at 23, the Wizards going with Daniel Gafford from Arkansas. 24, the Atlanta Hawks going with Jonte Porter, the other Porter from Missouri. 25, the Spurs going with Landry Shamet from Wichita State. 26, the Lakers going with Bruce Brown from Miami, Florida. 27, the Celtics going with Trayvon Duval from Duke. 28, the Nets going with Keita Bates-Diop from Ohio State. 29, the Warriors going with Kyrie Thomas from Creighton. And 30, the Atlanta Hawks via the Houston Rockets, Jacob Evans from Cincinnati. And guys, let's talk first about the Hawks. They have 2 picks in this bunch. I have them going Jonte Porter, Jacob Evans. Dave has them going Isaac Bonga and Anthony Simmons. And Ricky has them going Anthony Simmons and Jacob Evans. So a little bit of overlap. You guys both have them going Simmons, and Ricky and I both have them going Evans. What should be the attack for the Hawks?
Young talent.
I mean, realistically, like the way that I had it going down was we're gonna get our big, we're gonna get Ayton at 1, then we're gonna go with guy at 2, then a guy who can play the point guard and Simmons, then a guy who can be just a wing and play the 3. So you're hitting every level of what you're doing. Your big, your backcourt, and then your wing.
Yeah.
That's totally fair. I am not the same way. I've got them going Luka and Isaac Bonga. Bonga is like a worse version of Luka as it stands today. Don't care because Bonga's got stash potential, and if he develops and continues to develop, would really be something valuable out there. Even if he is coming off of the bench, he'd be one of the best 6-men potentially. Like it's just, I think he's a guy who you take a flyer on just for the potential. It's not so much like it's a great fit for your team right now. I don't know if I would want to do a second round pick on him because you get the first round pick. That means you get the protection over his contract. And then I've got Anthony Simmons because he's one of the younger players in this draft. Or not one of the younger. He's still a fifth-year senior, so same age. But
he's 18, I think, still.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is young point guard. He has the body size for it. And I think that obviously they're not totally in love with Schroeder right now, so you might as well roll the dice.
Yeah, the one thing with Anthony Simmons is really, is he going to come out? He has a meeting with Minnesota at some point. He hasn't declared a date, and I think he's going to make his decision by March. So it's going to be interesting to see if Simmons comes out. But I think he's a player that, right now a 5-star recruit, I feel like he's going to go in the top 20 if he comes out just because there is that potential. You really haven't seen him in a college system, but you have that potential. You have that ability to work with him. I feel like if he hits, it's going to be T-Wolves will be the last team that lets him pass through their fingers. So I think Simmons, though, at 24 for the Hawks would be an absolute steal. I have him going with Jonte Porter and Jacob Evans. I'm going along the same lines with you with Evans, even though they have Prince and they have Bembry. Bembry really hasn't been working out for him, and Prince has been really nice. But I think that one thing that Prince doesn't do great, shoot from the outside. He's been a really well all-around player, but Jacob Evans could be a strict 3 and D player. And again, you can never have too many wings in this game. And then also, if you're adding a Luka, it's something where you're going to need shooting. So I think that's something where give guys that Luka can pass out to and dish around. If you also have Schroeder on that team, I think that pairing him with shooters is going to be something that would really be beneficial to Doncic, Schroeder, and then Evans could be a guy on the outside. And then I have him going Jonte Porter because this kid is a sleeper. I know that Michael Porter is the best thing since sliced bread, #1 coming out of high school, going to Mizzou because his dad. But Jonte redefined his age and was able to get into Mizzou and now trying to play with his brother. Unfortunately, his brother gets injured. But Jonte's been doing great for Missouri right now. And, when I have been watching Missouri basketball, it's been for Jonte Porter. And he's shown the ability to hit from the outside. He's shown the ability to be a fluid guy, running the floor up and down. He's shown the ability to have a big, nice body. He's completely different from his brother. Don't expect it. He's more of a built player. And it's something where Jonte Porter, I feel like, if you have the passing abilities of Luka, you have the passing abilities of Schroeder, having him run off pick and rolls, pick and pops, cutting as well. I think that Porter could be a really nice addition to this team. I think that Jonte could be a real sleeper that, in the fact that people might be looking over him just because they're not watching a ton of Missouri tape because Michael Porter isn't out there, and they might be looking over him because, he's really young. They might be looking over him because he's the other brother. But I think that he can be a guy that, even though Brook Lopez was the better Lopez, Robert Lopez has had a real nice career for himself.
The thing that I think about with...
I said Robin.
Yeah, Robin. With Jonte Porter is, it's very... Like, you talk about Simmons possibly not coming out. I see different mock drafts, whether it's 2019, 2018, SI, ESPN,
well, the reason why you might be seeing him on 2019 is because he was going to be in the class of 2019, but then reclassified to get into this year.
What I'm saying is I've seen mock drafts where people are like, imagine this. It's like, I'm using yours as the example.
Yeah.
You're 24 right now. Think about it. It's like, if I stay one more year, up that draft stock, get myself into the top 20, get myself into the lottery, like, that's something that you could also think about with Jonte because you're so low in that first round. I get we always have the discussion of take the money, but I've seen mock drafts where it's like, you know what? He could go to the 2019 draft and add to that one that'll probably have like RJ Barrett and Zion.
The thing with that is look at the 23 players before him. I want to say the only upperclassmen or even guys who have 2 years on them are Hutchison from Boise State, Shake Milton, Shake Milton, and then also Troy Brown. I think those are the only 3 guys who have more than a year experience in those picks. So I understand that, hey, you might get a better slot next year, but with Jonte, I mean, if you're showing enough to get drafted, get drafted. If your brother's not going to be there next year, go out. If you want to play with your brother and Michael's going to stay, then stay there and play with your brother. But if you have the opportunity to leave and you already had a year in college, leave. Go to an NBA pro, get better, and possibly, you might not get that, you might get that, better draft slot early, but you might go to an Atlanta Hawks team where you'll see more playing time, and they might see enough of you where you'll get a bigger contract in that second year. I mean, like, again, it's a roll of the dice on what's going to happen in your career, but I feel like, Jonte, this might be as high as he gets because, just the way that things happen. He might come out next year, and you might not see any growth from him. He just might not be in the same position as he is right now.
And the thing that's great about the process now is he can be like, oh, I'm going to come out. It's all the way up to the lottery. Lottery set. Oh, no, I'm going back to Missouri. I don't want to go to the Hawks. Like, if you had him slotted to the Spurs, the Celtics, the Warriors, or, I mean, maybe even like the Wizards, then I would be like, come out because you're on a team. You're on a team where I don't have to worry about anything. I can just sit here, develop, and make my NBA money. The Hawks, it kind of concerns.
You get more playing time if you're on the Hawks, though.
Yes, but the direction of the Hawks is what I question right now. There's a reason why they're the second overall pick and why we
are.
Is it? All because they're not a good NBA team.
Well, that's just because they lost Al Horford, they lost Kyle Korver, they lost Jeff Teague, they lost.
I get that they lost a lot.
DeMar Carroll, who's the other guy? Millsap.
Yeah, they literally moved all of their talent into rebuilding.
Just because they're a small talent, they didn't have the money to take those guys on.
There's a reason why it's like we're talking about. Oh, they might get rid of Schroeder. They're not happy with that.
How many years have the Hawks been a top pick?
I just would not. I'm not saying they haven't been.
No, but I'm saying compared to the other teams, like the Kings, like the Suns, like you talk about teams who are consistently at the top. The Hawks aren't there often, which makes you think that
this was a
they
team
know
that
what
was
they're
65
doing.
and what, 22?
Yeah, you got to have faith in that front office, and that's where I'm at. I think the funny thing in my mind is like, I want to be an asshole here and be like, Jonte benefited from his brother being out.
No, he 100% did.
Exactly. Like,
he wouldn't be getting the same amount of playing time.
Doesn't get the same amount of playing time. Doesn't get the same amount of looks. I think this is his time to strike. This is when he comes out in this draft.
What if his brother comes back and it hurts him?
I don't think it's going to hurt him enough what we've seen out of him already.
That Mizzou team catapults to a brand new level where it's like, wow.
But that's what we expect.
Everyone's eyes is on Michael Porter.
But people already got their eyes on Jonte. Those are eyes that wouldn't have been there if Michael Porter was already catapulting him. Because now Jonte is putting up the numbers that he is without his brother. Yeah. And he still looked like a player that's worth a first-round pick. And it's something where we know that Michael Porter Jr. can be a player that takes a team to the next level. There's a reason why Jonte is in the last 30 of these picks. He's still in the 30, but there's a reason why his brother was in the top 10. And Jonte's in the bottom 10.
Yeah.
I mean, there's talent there in Jonte. With Michael, there can be that superstar level. So I think that people have already seen enough out of Jonte without his brother that he's not going to be, he has the ability to get in the first round.
Even if Michael comes back and his role lessens, I think he's still earned the amount of touches that he's getting today. And it will be more of working Michael Porter Jr. into this offense and around him.
And also, I mean, one thing, we don't know this, but I think Michael Porter and Jonte have a pretty decent repertoire.
You'd like to think they know each other a little.
They went to high school together at Nathan Hale. They know each other. I think they probably lived together at some point. So, if Michael Porter has the ball,
in the dark.
Maybe they're going to be pairing, run some pick and rolls with him and his brother.
Maybe.
Could be pretty decent. So, I mean, we don't know what Jonte will do. Maybe he even shows off when his brother comes off because those two are able to bounce back and forth. So it's going to be something with Jonte. I've seen enough of him where I think he's a first-round pick. And I think that, bringing him in could be something that I don't think it's going to change the Atlanta Hawks, but hey, Jonte Porter could be a really nice piece going along and possibly even a starter for you. So I think that's why Jonte goes at 24. And plus, he's so young. He's still 18. He's younger than his brother.
Yep.
So it's something where he could still develop. And then let's go to the Lakers now at 26. This is via the Cavs. I have him going Bruce Brown. Ricky has him going Landry Shamet. And Dave has him going Mitchell Robinson. Ricky, why'd you go guard?
Well, I went guard because there's really two ways that I could see the Lakers going with this. Thank God they were able to get that trade. Laker fans are like, great, we got a pick in the first round. Kind of like, it reminds me of what the Nets did on draft day, 2 years ago? When it's like, great, the Nets don't have a pick. And it's like, oh, wait, we do. We then take Karis LeVert. They can go two ways. They can either go with somebody who can come in and be the backup to
Thaddeus
Lonzo
Young,
Ball.
Thad Young.
Yes, they traded Thaddeus Young.
Bugging me. I don't remember who
they
they
could draft someone to be the backup to Lonzo Ball, because let's be honest, IT probably not staying with this team. Or I actually like the pick that Dave made, because what's the future of Brook Lopez? Is he going to be back next year? Is he going to go somewhere else? That's the two ways I see them going, either with a center or with a guard a point guard to back up Lonzo.
Well, the one thing I want to bring up with the Lakers, you still have our buddy Josh Hart out there. He's been pretty decent for the Lakers, but he's more of a combo guard. He can be a 1 or 2. So that's the reason why he wouldn't really push out. You can take a point guard.
Yeah.
I also have Shamet going, and Shamet we know brings a ton of 3-point shooting to that team, and could be great off the bench, and just gonna be another body that Lonzo can pass to. So I like the Landry fit there. I went Bruce Brown just because Bruce Brown has shown the ability to be a secondary ball handler. If Lonzo's out, I think obviously this team's going to change because we know how much Lonzo can bring to a team with his distributing abilities. But Bruce Brown can at least be a guy that can be a decent defender and could be a really good backup point guard. And I think if you're looking for a backup point guard, Bruce Brown could be that guy. So I think that's why if you're looking for the Lakers, you have a guard in Josh Hart that can go through the 1 and 2. Find a for sure backup to Lonzo. And that's, I think, why you go in Brown or Shamet.
Now, let's be honest. Brown, Shamet, or Robinson, they're not the main add that they're looking to add to this team. It's LeBron and PG-13. Those are the guys that they're really looking to add to this team in free agency.
They're not freeing cap space for Landry Shamet? I'd free cap space for Landry Shamet.
What I'm saying is, they're not going crazy to try to get Brown, Shamet, or Robinson. They could really take anything here, maybe even the center part for Brook. If they do think, hey, we're going to land a LeBron, we're going to land a PG-13, we're going to bring those big free agents home.
I think they're declining Julius Randle's options to bring in Landry Shamet. I think that's a move.
Dave, and Julius Randle, man.
The one thing, though, with Dave, with Mitchell Robinson, is they do have Zubac out there.
I like him, but he's going to be out. He's soft. He's soft. He don't play defense like the rest of them boys.
Use the soft word.
He is.
Did you see him offensively against Minnesota Timberwolves, grabbing boards, slamming them home?
He's never had a problem with his offense. He's had one of the best soft touches around the rim.
But what I'm saying.
But again, the word is soft.
But he's not soft inside. Offensively.
Defensively, he is. Okay. And that's the problem.
Okay, Enzo.
But what does Mitchell Robinson bring that's not soft?
Mitchell Robinson is a young, athletic big, and that is exactly what they need to pair with this team. And I think that, honestly, I just look and see like you said, Brook Lopez is done, 100% gone.
You don't think he's coming back at all?
Probably not. And then I look at Thomas Bryant, who they've been working on. He's a project kid who has been in the G League, and I kind of want to like him, but he's not there yet. So I think you go and you take a flyer on Mitchell Robinson, who, again, he took that year away from basketball in college, and he's working on developing his game individually, which I can respect that. But at the same time, it's kind of a mystery boat. So it could be for the benefit of a team who will take a flyer on him late, who's getting more than he might have gone higher had he been in this draft. Because you have to remember how highly he was rated coming into this class. He wasn't like a slouch by any means.
No, he was going to go to Western Kentucky, but I think he was originally committed to Louisville. I think that's why he flipped to Western Kentucky, or he was supposed to go to Kentucky. There was something with Mitchell Robinson, though, that he committed to either a big-time school or he committed to Western Kentucky, but always had these doubts that he wasn't going to actually go play college ball, and then ended up decommitting from Western Kentucky. There's a weird story with Mitchell Robinson going out there. I haven't read enough about it, because I know he was committed to Western Kentucky, but he might have been committed to a prior team, or at least been in talks with a bigger school before. But with Mitchell Robinson, again, he might be a guy that shoots up as well, because I have him going to the Bucks at 21. Ricky has him going to the Wizards at 23. This is a guy that, again, we haven't seen enough out of him because he hasn't been in the college game, but come the combine, he could really impress teams and shoot up draft boards. So that's a Mitchell Robinson guy. Same with Anthony, that can really just totally change their whole direction.
As soon as you see them in the combine, I mean, that's really going to be the truth to everybody,
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Mitchell Robinson. Final team we're talking about is the Nets. Dave, you want to talk about them? They got Hamidou Diallo, the most raw player in this draft, going to the Nets. Why are the Nets taking Hamidou?
Purely because he's a project, and I honestly want to leave him out of the first round, but I ended up being like, all right, I'll horseshoe him in here, because the Nets, I mean, they've been so damn injured, and this year it's really hurting them an incredible amount because they don't own their own pick, and this is a team where they've got some young guys who need to develop, and they're just not going to get playing time because of all the injuries. So I look at Hamidou as a player who can develop into like a 2-3 tweener. He's got the body to play basketball. The question is, can you build up his raw skill set? And if there's any front office or coaching staff that I believe in and building players and improving their baseline skills, it is this Nets team. I've watched what they've done with players people throw away, like a Spencer Dinwiddie, and watching him how this year, earlier in the year there was always put him in the All-Star game. Look at his stat line. Look what he's doing with this team. And what they can do with these players who are the leftovers, the side pieces to other teams. And, I think they're developing something special in Karis LeVert, but at the same time, like, I think you add a project piece because you can afford to. Because if you're picking this late in the draft, you're probably not going to get a guy who's going to start for your team right away. So you might as well go for someone with the upside that Hamadou has.
Well, Karis was also a project pick because he had his injury problem.
Right.
Damari Carroll, resurgence for him.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a 1 and a 2 for Damari Carroll to accept him.
Yeah, and it worked.
I mean, that's insane.
It worked, and Damari Carroll's been a decent basketball player for them. Yeah. So, I mean, I can't think of any other projects that they've worked on.
I mean, Jeremy Lin coming back, obviously he got hurt early, and that was just tragic, but I think that this is a team that they've got so much young talent, and with Jarrett Allen coming along.
Jarrett Allen's been great, too.
I mean, that boy can play. Just outright play, and you got to love the fro. So
I don't remember I put him in my mock draft, but I think I remember at some point calling him a sleeper, so I will never let you guys live that down.
I just think it's the team to develop talent,
Ricky with Raleigh Elkins, what do you think about him?
I've liked what I've seen from Elkins at Arizona, and really the Nets to me could really go anywhere. They could go with the development project with Hamadou. They can go with BPA, which for me would be Raleigh, and then or they can go, hey, you know what? We have a position of need. They have both of their power forwards are going to be up at the end of the year, although they're not expensive ones. So they could just say, here's money, come on back. Like, it's no big deal. And they could go with a power forward. Like, they could go literally anywhere with this pick, and it would be okay, just as long as they take the guy that they like and they think is going to develop into something.
Well, one thing, too, with your pick, too, you have Trayvon Duval after Elkins as well. That could be a project as well because this kid has the body to play basketball. He has some skills, way more cleaner than Hamadou, but he just can't shoot. You need to fix his shot. Like, it's bad. And you look at Damari Carroll, they fixed his shot. So, I mean, that's another option as well for Trayvon Duval.
What better team to fix your shot than the Warriors, though? Am I wrong?
That's true.
Am I wrong?
But would they want to take a guy that's a project?
I don't know. I hear the players are doing a lot more coaching in Golden State these days.
I don't get why that's a problem. Or
it's not. They're playing the Suns. Nobody cares.
I like it. I like it. I just like throwing fun at it.
Cool. I have him going Keita Bates Diop. Dave mentioned it. He's really improved at Ohio State. Really been the reason why the team's finally winning ball games. And I think Diop could be a nice guy, at least in the forward position. That obviously you have Allen at center. You can pair him at least either coming off the bench or as your four for the future. In Diop, especially getting rid of Trev Book, you need to be able to pop a guy in there. And Diop, who is not a guy that is young per se, he is a guy though with experience and is a player that can step in and help your team right away. Any final players that you guys want to mention, 21 through 30?
No, not really.
Dave.
I feel good that we covered everything. I'm a little disappointed that Ricky missed the opportunity to drop Landry Shamet to the Spurs and just match it all the way across.
No, they're going to take Shake.
Shame on you.
Taking Shake.
Shame.
Anyways, my favorite player is still Landry Shamet. I love that boy out of this draft. And there's something with this whole draft that it's going to be special. There's even guys that we didn't mention. Grayson Allen, not even in here.
You usually put him right there to the Warriors.
His teammate, Gary Trent Jr., not even on here as well. He was a guy that was in our mock draft 1.0.
And it's funny to think about. During our mock draft 1.0, everyone was like, how do you not have all 5 Duke players in this first round?
Because they were amazing
at the beginning of the year.
And the one thing with Gary Trent is he can work his way back in there. I think that he's going to stay for a second year at school. And I think it's something where he's being outshined. At some points, he's looked really good. He's looked good as a spot-up shooter, but also he's getting wide open looks from Grayson Allen and all the great players around him, Marvin Bagley and Wendell Carter Jr. I mean, there's a lot of space on that floor for Duval to work. For Trent to work. I think Duval has shown a little bit more potential as a basketball player. Just need to work on his shot. And that's the reason why you got Duval in over Trent. But Trent could be even a guy that people look at just because he could be a shooter for your team. So there's a lot of players that didn't make it. Trent made it last time. Brandon McCoy was big for me at 19. I really fallen off on him. Really haven't seen the progression I've wanted in him. Andrew Jones, obviously with had medical issues with his cancer. It's terrible to hear.
Yeah.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker, the cousin of Shea. So we just swapped cousins there. The guard out of Virginia Tech, and also D'Anthony Melton with his FBI investigation. Justin Jackson with his injury out of Maryland. Lonzo Trier, you took in a different Wildcat, Ricky.
I did.
So,
I'll be honest. I almost put Justin Jackson here right at the end, but then I was like,
Yeah, I mean, my
I'm gonna
30 is a
fall out.
wild card anyway. It could have been any of these guys.
Just wait for the full 2-rounder. But that's going to wrap it up for
can't
Mock
wait for
Draft 2.0. This has been pretty much 2 hours of NBA
Could you
talk.
imagine the 2-rounder will probably be a 3-hour podcast?
This was supposed to be our All-Star break, and we did the longest podcast of the year.
Well, you know what? While everyone's taking the time off, enjoying themselves in LA, MVP going to work. The fast break
We going
going to
hard.
work.
And we're going to work in the Shy. All right, bring the All-Star game to Shy. We'll do interviews. We'll play in the celebrity game.
It hasn't been in the Shy since it was in the Chicago Stadium, right?
I have no idea.
That was like 80,
wasn't
the
it Jordan
1988 dunk contest where he beat Will.
Or was it 86?
No, I thought it was 88.
I don't remember. Or
That's the
89.
one where he-
Yeah,
the
he
free
won
throw
80.
line
Yeah,
and
he
he-
won 88 and 89, right? Yeah, it was the free throw line dunk, but I don't remember
Yeah.
which year it was.
I think it was 88.
Anyways, just bring the All-Star game to Chicago. And, we'll play.
2020. 2020, boys.
2020. Hey, MVP All-Star game. All right, get the hashtag going.
Bring MVP.
No, it's too long. Hashtag MVP ASG 2020.
Okay.
Get that trending. Hashtag MVP ASG 2020 on Twitter. I'll tweet it out right now.
And it was 1988.
1988.
The East
Jordan.
won 138 to
we-
133.
32 years later, 28 years later.
Doing
someone help
math
me.
live.
20. Someone help me. 2020.
Somebody help me.
32 years later. That's too long. No,
Mm-hmm.
20.
How old am I?
25
28.
years. No.
You are really
It's
32.
It's 30.
It's 30 right now.
32.
32.
32 years
Yeah,
later,
yeah.
we'll recreate this free throw line dunk. All right? Sorry, guys. Do
you wanna know the
I was
starting-
right the first time. I just second guessed myself.
Do
You
you
guys couldn't bail me
want to
out.
know the starting fives the last time the All-Star game was in Chicago?
You can't guess?
Yes.
Dominique.
Yes.
You're going East first?
Yeah, I'll go East
okay.
first.
Dominique.
Larry.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
Oh, shit. Spud.
Nope.
No. East?
Think
Think
Oh,
of
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah
Yep.
Thomas. And
This last one, I don't think you're going to get.
Wait, there's 4 more? There's 1 more. Wait.
there's one more.
There's one more starter.
Think about what I'm doing, Sean.
I don't know what you're doing. You're
I'm holding the ball out of bounds. I think it was wrong person.
talking about out of bounds.
This one played for the Washington State Bullets.
The Washington Bullets.
Great name.
Manu Ball.
Nope.
Do you want me to just tell you?
No, I want to guess. All right,
We're going to make this the longest podcast ever.
Moses Malone.
Oh, Moses Malone.
Do you know the West?
Magic.
Yes.
Kareem.
No.
Oh.
Kareem was on the bench.
Oh.
He was a reserve.
Magic.
Think about the greatest center
Clyde?
from the West. Nope, he was on the bench.
Oh, from the West. Greatest center from the West. It's big, fucking Kareem.
Of the
Abdul-Jabbar.
90s? Of the 90s, after Kareem retired.
Oh, fuck. Patrick Ewing.
No.
Would be like,
No.
He won
Carmelo.
2 championships.
Yes,
Oh,
you're correct
Hakeem.
in Carmelo.
Hakeem.
He said Carmelo too.
Carl.
Karl Malone.
Stockton then? No.
No,
No.
these two you're not going to get. Alex English. And
Oh, I
Fat-
would have gotten Alex
would've
English the
actually-
Nugget.
and
Put
Fat-
English on it.
And Fat Lever.
At Lever.
Fat Lever from the Denver Nuggets.
It's not lever, it's
Yeah,
liver.
Lever.
Jesus
Anyways,
Christ.
let us know
I'm
your thoughts.
saying
That's going to
lever.
kill us.
Oh, we're almost done. Camera's probably going to go off. If you're listening on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. Either the
James
full
Worthy was
podcast
on
or the
that
segments
team.
if you're listening on Block Talk Radio. Huge shout out to you. Thanks for joining us, idiots, for the past 2 hours. We appreciate your help. Also, we'll have our next mock draft soon. I think it's when the NCAA tournament starts. So it's going to be in March. That's
It's
when we'll do it.
sometime in
3.0. Ricky and Brandon did Trae Young versus Count Sexton. Check that out on the PTP if you want to. And
Big
also
board will be the 5th of March.
check out the 5th of March for the Big Board 2.0. And also, check out patreon.com/mostofitpodcast if you want to help support the show or all of MVP. We would appreciate all of your help. Check out mostofitpodcast.com. And then also, don't forget to rate us 5 stars on iTunes. We appreciate all your love. Also, Roast Ricky. Go to the video. Roast
Make
Ricky.
them count. They've been kind of weak so far.
Make him count. We know he's fat. Come on, look at him.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I said. It's actually the 11th of March is our next mock draft.
There we go. 11th of March. But anyways, for Dave Oster, for Ricky Widmer, I'm Sean Anderson. We'll see you next time.